what's up, everybody? I'm Justin Young. He is Josh Check. Welcome to Monday. Welcome to Commitment Catch Up. All things commitments happening right now for the class of 2024 or 25 for that matter, as guys are taking visits and guys are making decisions. And we've got 5 of them that we're going to talk about this week right here on HoopSeen.com. And Josh, we've got some good ones to go through. Some of our favorite guys, some guys from the great state of Texas, some guys from out here in the West. So a lot to talk about here in this commitment catch-up. If you're watching this, however, on YouTube, make sure you like and subscribe. If you're watching this on Twitter or X or whatever you want to call it these days, make sure you hit the repost or retweet or reshare or whatever button it is to put it out there to your network. So, Josh, lead us off, man, like Ronald Acuna. What you got? We got a good one.
I love it. That's a fantastic reference. Big fan of that. Also a big fan of Isaiah Ochialik, one of our favorite guys from the HSA. We've seen him for years with No Guts, No Glory. We've kind of watched his journey as a Division I prospect unfold in front of our eyes. And now, after visiting Chattanooga, just not too far up the road from me right now, he committed to the Mocs. What I love about this one is his long-term upside. Isaiah is a guy that if you talk to college coaches, and we talked to plenty of them when they came out to watch him at events like Best of the South, they love his potential down the line. Like, he's a good player now, 6'7" wing, lean, long, skilled, versatile, does a lot that you want on the floor right now. Very productive player. But it is that lean, that kind of long, lanky guy that when you get to the college weight room, when he gets to be one of the JY staples, what is this guy going to look like when he's 20 years old or whatever? And I think Isaiah Ochialik is a guy that college coaches really love the idea of him as a 20-year-old when he's in the weight room, when he has the college development, when he has the seasoning. He could be a guy that really emerges as a bigger name down the line.
He is. I agree with all that you said. To your point, there's a value for him right away. There's a value for him down the road.
Yeah.
And you got to love a program that does their homework. We saw Chattanooga at our live events in the spring. We saw them in the summertime. They were very consistent throughout this process. We say it all the time. Sometimes you don't have to go very far to go find a sleeper. We see them all the time within the HoopSeen platform, year in and year out. And there's no surprise that Chattanooga is a team that contends every year of the postseason. The Southern Conference, a conference that we love really, really well. A lot of schools from that league recruit a lot of players from our platform. So this year it's been pretty cool to see. Is he a 2-time All-HSA? Nevertheless, he's a multi-top performer at our events over the last couple of years and a player that consistently has produced and, quite frankly, has consistently gotten better. I think his three-point shooting has gotten tremendously better year in and year out. So really happy to see that. He had a lot of high majors kind of coming in, taking a look at him throughout the course of the travel season. So good on Chattanooga for holding everybody off, staying the course. And we said it last week on Fast Break Friday, keep an eye on this in our commitment watch from the HSA. We knew that Chattanooga was involved, and it doesn't surprise either one of us to see we're going to call him IO, man. I feel like we got to coin a nickname for him. IO is off the board at Chattanooga and really one of the best places, I think, in the South and one of the best hidden gem cities there is in the country, quite frankly, if I'm being quite honest. I like that commitment. If I was a young player and I had a recruitment, Chattanooga would be high on my list for sure. I like that one a lot. So good on you. So now the pressure's on some of our other HoopSeen Association guys. We're looking at you, Sebastian Akins. I have a feeling you might be next off the board. So it'll be fun to keep our eyes on that one on the visit tour. And again, if you want to know, kind of get a cheat sheet ahead of what's coming up, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel because every Thursday we post our Fast Break Friday. I know it's confusing, whatever, but we at least kind of go through and kind of give you a heads up of who's visiting where. And a lot of times that kind of yields some information about who may be next on the commitment tour. Let's move it on down the line, Josh, shall we? Let's go out to Mississippi State. They got I think a sneaky good one in the class of 2024 in Delquan Warren. We talked about him. We talked about Rakees Passmore both visiting there into Mississippi State last week. But Delquan Warren, when we do our ranking stuff behind the scenes, his name, quite frankly, doesn't come up a lot. But every time I watch film of him, I'm like, man, that guy's pretty good, man.
Yeah, he is.
How do you feel about him?
I'm a pretty big fan, and I think it's important to note that at one point he was previously committed to Rutgers with Ace Bailey and potentially Dylan Harper and Lathan Somerville, and a big class over at Rutgers. He decommitted, and now he's going to a system that I would consider defensive oriented under Chris James at Mississippi State. What I love about this is that fit. Like, Delquan Warren is a high level on ball defender. He's going to be a pest. He's going to stick with you. He's going to cause trouble for you. He's going to be the point of attack, initial point of attack guard. And under that Chris Jans system at Mississippi State, I think he's going to be really successful there. He's a downhill kind of guy. He loves to get to the rim. He loves to score at the rim. He's tough. He's gritty. That kind of reminds me of what Mississippi State is like. So I think this fit is just perfect.
I think he's got a layer of excitement to him too that really kind of leans into Stark Vegas mentality, right? Like tons of excitement. And at this, I mean, in all my years of covering recruiting, this may be the first once committed to Rutgers, now headed to Mississippi State player ever in an e-sport. I think that's probably fair to say. So I do like the randomness of that. I think that's kind of fun. But Delquan Warren, I think this class is actually pretty deep for point guards. I really kind of like the depth of point guards in this class. I don't know if we have like a ton of like NBA guys, but I think there's a lot of good point guards that you can trust your program with. And Delquan Warren to me is one of those guys that I think because of an early commitment to Rutgers, because of kind of a quiet opening up, I don't know if people really gave him too much attention to really realize this guy's pretty freaking good and actually maybe one of the better steals that we see coming in to the SEC in Stark Vegas for Chris Jans and the Mississippi State Bulldogs. Let's move it down the line. Keep it going down to I-20 into the state of Texas. And there's two players from the state of Texas that I want to highlight that are both off the board to high majors. Let's start with Jared Harris out of the Houston area. He's headed to Memphis to go play for Penny Hardaway. And Jared Harris is a guy that we had a chance to see pretty often and pretty early at the Best of South. I guess it was 2 years ago now with the Houston Superstars. And we liked him then. We put him in our top 50, top 60 national rankings. He's kind of been a staple in our national rankings ever since. What is it about Jared Harris, if you're a Memphis Tiger fan, Josh Tech, should they be excited about?
Yeah, I remember both of us watching him at Best of the South, and he kind of played with a little bit of an electricity, athletic, bigger guard. He's able to do a lot of things on the floor. He kind of, this is going to sound so like basic, but he plays like seeing him matched up with Memphis feels like it fits, like to whatever degree that is. I mean, Memphis kind of plays a more, up and down kind of style. They kind of play more of a defensive, grittier kind of style. And I think Jared Harris kind of fits into that. And I think he'll fit into that more as an upperclassman and all of that as well. He's a multi-year guy. I think you can kind of have him as a cornerstone piece down the line. I think he's more of a down the line kind of guy. So I think this is a really good marriage. It just feels like it fits well to me.
Listen, I've been around this game long enough to know that if John Urie, a pioneer in travel basketball down in the city of Houston, says, hey, this guy is good, that means that guy's pretty good.
Yeah.
John Urie's been saying that for a number of years now of Jared Harris, what kind of player he is, and a player that I'm glad to see his consensus ranking is you see his name in all the rankings based on the top 100. So a really nice fit for Penny Hardaway and the Memphis Tigers. And I agree, actually. I think there's a smart fit there for both parties and a pretty good happy marriage there for a saying that we like to say. We talked about Colorado a lot, Josh, on our podcast about their ability to identify great players. We know that Trent Perry was on campus over the weekend, but they also had some other players on campus. And one of their big players, you're going to have to help me with the last name because, I'm terrible with last names. But Big Dorian O out of the state of Texas. Help me out on the last name here. You're better at it than me.
I'm going to give it a shot. I'm going to say Onwu Chekwa.
I like it. I'm going to go Big Dorian O. Dorian O. There we go. I need some more caffeine. I think maybe I had too much caffeine. I don't know. But listen, if Colorado recruits you, if they identify you, if they see you as a player that can come in, you're probably pretty freaking good. And Dorian is a significant player in this class because he's so big. I saw him shoot. He might have been 15U. I went out to one of my friend Cal Buffington, who's now on staff at Texas Tech, had an event either in the spring or the fall. I can't remember what it was, but he was a player that I was really intrigued by, Big Dorian. And man, not a lot of guys built like him, kind of built like Carl Anthony Towns, honestly, like just big frame, really a big presence in the middle of Colorado. With the players that they're bringing in and potentially bringing in, makes a lot of sense to kind of anchor down the middle and inside the paint for the Buffaloes.
Yeah, really, really big fan of this one. He big, like you said, big body, broad shoulders. He also has touch. Like you don't see a guy with that kind of frame have the kind of touch that he has. Really strong rebounding presence. Will grab a rebound, throw a great outlet pass. He's a guy that can do a lot on the floor. I think he's another guy that's just going to kind of be a developable piece that'll kind of be benefit the Buffaloes down the long run.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So two important ones out of the state of Texas are both off the board here. One going to Memphis, one going to Colorado. We'll wrap things up. We'll stay out here in the West. Actually stay in Texas with Rice coming out here to the West to the Phoenix area to Anthony Baston from forgive me, from St. Mary's? No, from Notre Dame. I got all my stills. Forgive me, Phoenix hoop heads. I'm still trying to get it all squared away from Notre Dame. a really good program, a lot of good young players. With Anthony Baston, really highly athletic guy, a guy that's been playing a lot of varsity since his freshman year. I think could be a really good defensive player. Listen, we know Rice knows how to recruit Phoenix. They got Mekhi Mason out of AZ Compass Prep, who turned out to be an absolute steal, and a guy that doesn't shock me at all, that has had the success that he's had, and called that one out when it happened. I think Anthony Baston, really nice program pickup for them, can be a big-time defensive guy for the Rice Owls as they put together a schedule they'll need guys like him in their rotation to get some stops. So really like that commitment for them, and really like this Houston Rice coming out to Arizona to find some players for their elite academic program. Listen, if you're watching here on YouTube, if you're watching on X or whatever you want to call it, leave comments below on some of your favorite commitments so far from the class of 2024. Let us know what you think. While you're at it, go ahead and just Google HoopSeen Rankings 2024. You can find our updated rankings on our website. Josh and I spend a lot of time on that really every day, kind of going back and forth, making sure that they're updated from things that we see. And man, we have a lot of stuff coming up. We've got our preview camps coming up that Josh will have you covered. We've got Claim the Crown, the premier Southeastern preseason tournament going to be happening at Swanee Sports Academy. And of course, Josh and I and our staff will be at a number of events coming up here this fall. So make sure you stay locked on. Make sure you follow us. Make sure you like and subscribe. Do all the things. We got plenty more coming up this week. Fast Break Friday on Thursday coming up next this week on HoopSeen. Josh, appreciate your insight, and we'll see you in a couple days.
See you later.